Howdy folks, and welcome to today's Star Wars lore episode, which is on the all-terrain armored transport. The Empire had many repulsive vehicles in its arsenal, and such weapons were chillingly effective for ground-based combat, but were also vulnerable to localized gravitic anomalies, shifting magnetic fields, and other factors. Because their troops needed a heavy assault vehicle that could operate without restriction on many worlds, Imperial engineers faced the challenge of creating an all-terrain transport that was not repulsive driven. To do this, they resurrected a design that served with limited success in the Clone Wars. The AT-AT was first fielded at the Battle of Jabim, where the new war machines were effective enough, but got bogged down in the muddy terrain. Development continued at Kuat drive yards, albeit slowly. A few units of AT-ATs survived into the Imperial era, where they were championed by the likes of Maximilian Veers. After some notable successes, particularly at Karida during a rebel assault, the newest design saw the AT-AT brought back into full military service. The AT-AT was undoubtedly a terror weapon. For those facing it, there was something deeply awe-inspiring about watching a 15-meter high, heavily armored behemoth walking calmly, unstoppably towards their defensive position, spitting flaming death as it came on, its every footfall shaking the ground. Huge and heavy it might have been, but the AT-AT Walker could cover up to 60 km an hour on flat terrain, giving opposing forces little time to prepare an effective defense. That said, several elements in the design of the AT-AT were key to its success, beyond simply the fear it showed on the battlefield. Firstly, it mounted powerful weapons, a pair of heavy laser cannons and 2 medium blasters. Second, its armor could shrug off all but the heaviest artillery fire. And finally, the armored body carried up to 5 speeder bikes and 40 troopers who could be deployed in a matter of minutes. AT-ATs were usually backed up by the smaller AT-ST and by swiftly moving speeder bikes. The virtually blaster-proof armor completely covering the AT-AT allowed an accompanying AT-ST or speeder bike simply to clean off any attacking ground troopers who somehow escaped the blaster cannon and crushing feet of the mighty machine without risking any harm to the walker itself. Until the Battle of Hoth and the quick thinking of rebel snowspeeder pilots, no force had ever succeeded in even slowing a modern AT-AT assault. Even after Hoth, Imperial generals pointed out that the AT-ATs had not been stopped and in fact had admirably completed their mission to destroy the planetary shield. Now, the AT-AT offered an unequaled combination of capabilities as a multi-role assault vehicle and troop carrier. Inside the command module was a crew of 3, a commander who directed the tactical operation, and 2 pilots. One pilot normally acted as the driver while the other served as gunner, but both could take over either role, while the commander could also take control of the weapons. Now, flexibility was important to any military force, and the all-terrain armored transport also filled the role of troop transport, and within the belly of the beast was space for up to 40 stormtroopers, 5 speeder bikes. And to allow these troops to reach ground level as quickly as possible, the AT-AT carried a set of deployment harnesses, so that each trooper slid down a cable and hit the ground running. Supported by covering fire from their comrades in the vehicle, this operation was normally carried out while the AT-AT is on the move, since this made it less vulnerable to attack. Now, a reactor housed in the rear of the Walker produced the power that was actually needed to move the heavily armored body of the AT-AT at speeds up to 60 km an hour, and there were separate flat plate piston drives in each knee and hip joint, with separate motors driving each of the 4 complex ankle joints, and hydraulic pistons linked to automated sensors controlling the 4 toes of the foot pads. And there you have it, that is the all-terrain armored transport, otherwise known just simply as the AT-AT, or as they said in Family Guy, the AT-AT. Now if you like the video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and leave a comment or 2 of what you thought of the video as well, and I'll talk to you all in the next one. Later.